Okay, so while we're talking about the pressure gauge, the other important aspect of it is, as we know, while it's heating, we want it to get to about 12 bars of pressure, but equally, if not, actually more important is that when you are pulling a shot, you want it to get to 9 bars of pressure. Now this, as we can see here, right, I'm pulling a shot, getting to 9 bars of pressure, that's perfect. This pressure is controlled by the pump and not the expansion valve. So if, for whatever reason, you're not getting 9 bars of pressure when you're pulling a shot, don't adjust the expansion valve. It's going to be the pump, okay? And now the pump is usually located under the counter. Now in this case, I have the pump over here, and we'll talk about it in a second. But again, this is very important. If you're not getting 9 bars of pressure when you're pulling a shot, do not try to adjust the expansion valve. That's not gonna change that. You have to adjust the pump, and vice versa. If you're not getting 12 bars of pressure, don't adjust the pump, because then you're just gonna mess with the shot quality and it's gonna get super wacky. So 9 bars of pressure when you're pulling a shot, right? Every time. And now we can talk about the pump real fast. Okay, so here we have the pump, and this is what controls the pressure of the shots when they're being pulled, which we want to be 9 bars of pressure. So if you're not getting 9 bars of pressure, the first thing you want to check is the pump. And number one, you want to check to see if this pump is even turning on. And it's pretty easy to tell that if you pull a shot, you will hear it and you will feel it. You should hear it make that noise, and you can feel it vibrating. And it'll stop once the shot is done pulling. The other thing, if you feel this vibrating, but you don't really have any pressure, then this pump head, there's 2 separate parts. This is the motor, and this is the actual pump part of it. So if you feel the motor going, but you don't have any pressure, or you don't have 9 bars of pressure at least, it's very possible that your pump head or your pump itself has failed and needs to be replaced. They do get stuck, they do fail. It's not that crazy of a thing. Now, if you pull a shot and you don't feel this vibrate at all, the motor doesn't kick on whatsoever, just check and see if it is connected. These are quick connect connectors. Sometimes this piece will kind of break off, and it's very possible that someone could have just kicked this, and now, it's not connected. Pull a shot, it doesn't engage the pump because it's not even getting an electrical signal. So just always make sure that this is connected, and also make sure this is kind of, in a good space under the counter where it's not going to get ran over by the ice caddy or something. It goes for the whole cord, because the next thing that could happen is if this cord gets ran over and shorts out, it will blow a fuse in the machine, and that will cause the pump to also not work. And in that case, there could be other problems as well as the fuse going, but then new cord and a bunch of other things, and possibly a control board. So that's the first thing you want to check. Now, if everything's fine and you just need to adjust the pump pressure, say it's like pulling at like 10 bars of pressure or just under 9 bars of pressure, whatever the case may be, where you need to adjust it, this is where you're going to adjust it, right here. So it has this little like locking nut on it, and shouldn't be able to turn it at all. And you're going to need also a wrench, 2 wrenches for this, I like to use. So first, to just unlock it, you want to hold this in place, because this is what you're actually going to be adjusting, this gold piece here. And this black nut here is just to lock it into place. So you'll hold down this piece, just kind of hold it steady, get another wrench on here and just loosen this. Doesn't really matter where you go, just get it a little loose. And then you should be able to spin the actual adjustment screw either to the left or to the right. And if you spin it to the left, it's going to make the pump pressure lower. Spin it to the right, it's going to get higher. Now, I recommend to do this very small increments at first, because you don't want to go, if you unscrew this way too far and this comes out, you'll get water going everywhere. And then if you go too far in the other direction, you can kind of mess up the gauge if you have like an insane pressure. So just be careful, small little turns, nothing too crazy. Just go ahead and you can give it a little turn like that, and then go check, pull some shots on the espresso machine, see where you're at. If you're turning it, if you're making it tighter and you just keep going and going and like nothing's changing on it, well then this pump is probably bad. These do get kind of stuck and seized up, and at that point you're just going to have to replace the pump. So don't go too crazy with it. Just give it a couple turns. If it's not doing anything, if the gauge does not move, then call it in, and we'll just need to get a new pump for that. So that's the pump. Pretty basic. Also, if this leaks, the other thing too is just try to keep these hoses out of the way of the ice caddy, out of the way of anything you're going to bump into, garbage, whatever it is, because these will leak. And then sometimes this pump head leaks too. So anything like that, just call it in. I wouldn't recommend messing with anything else on the pump. That's pretty much the main components of it. And, just this adjustment here, and this quick connect here. So again, this is what controls your pump pressure, your shot. When you pull a shot, your 9 bars, that's going to come from here. So that's when you would adjust this. Don't adjust the expansion valve, and vice versa. If you're trying to get your resting bar pressure at 12, do not adjust this pump. That's not for this. You would have to adjust the expansion valve. I just want to stress that because I see it all the time. Okay.